Hey, what's up guys? In this tutorial we are going to learn about the array data structure. So the agenda of this tutorial is that first of all we will learn what are arrays, and then we will move towards the next step. So the next steps are how can we push an item to the end of an array and what is its time complexity. So we will learn how can we push an item at the end of an array, and with the help of the big O notation that we have learned in the previous lecture, what is the time complexity of this method, or we can say this function of adding an item at the end of an array. So the next step is going to be how can we remove an last item from array and what is its time complexity. So in the previous step we will learn how to add an item at the end of an array, and in this step we will learn how can we remove the last item from an array, and we will also calculate its time complexity with the help of the big O notation. Now in the next step what we will do, we will learn how can we add an item at the start of an array and what is its time complexity. So we will learn how can we add an item at the start of an array and what will be its time complexity. Now in the fourth step what we'll do is we can learn how to add or remove an item to an array at selected index and what is its time complexity. So in the previous steps we have learned how to add an item at the first index, at the last index, or remove at the last index, and now we will learn in this step that at the selected index how can we add or remove an item, for example at the index 2 or 3 or 4. Now after completing these four steps, we will move towards the next step, which are types of an arrays. And then we will learn what is the difference between the static and the dynamic arrays. And in the last step, which is going to be the main step of this tutorial, in which we will learn how can we build an array from scratch with all the functionalities. So in the last part, what we will do is we will build an array from the scratch. For example, in the first steps we will use different methods for all of these functionalities. Now at the end what we will do is we will build the complete array from the scratch, and we will build all of these functionalities from the scratch, and we will not use any of the methods to add an item or to remove an item. We will build all of these methods from the scratch. So let's move towards the first step. So the first step is what are arrays. So let's go to this file. So here is the definition of arrays. So array is a container which can hold a fixed number of items, and these items should be of the same type. Most of the data structures make use of arrays to implement their algorithms. So arrays hold an items at contiguous memory locations. So you can see from this diagram. This diagram is taken from Geeks for Geeks websites. So at this diagram you can look that all items are at contiguous memory locations, and you can also see the indexing that there are for example 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. They show that they are at contiguous memory locations, they are not at random places, just like linked lists that we will learn in the future lectures of this series. Arrays hold the data in contiguous memory locations so we can easily access them. So if you know the indexing of any of the items, you can easily access the items before it or after it. So in this way you can access the items easily, and we will perform all of these methods in our code when we will start coding. So this is the definition of an arrays, which tell us that they hold fixed number of items, and items should be of a same type, and many other data structures such as tags, queues. What will they do? They use arrays to implement their algorithms. So when we will learn about stacks and queues, you will learn that arrays also use in these data structures also. So this is the definition of an array, and you will understand it in a better way when you will perform all of these operations, all of these steps, and then when you will build an array from the scratch, then you will clearly understood the concept of arrays, how arrays work, what are the time complexities of different methods in arrays and what are the types of arrays. So let's move towards the second step. So the second step is how to push an item at the end of an array and what is its time complexity. So first of all, let's go to this file, which is main.js. Here what I will do is, first of all, I will write some big O notations, or we can set the time complexities for different methods. Then we will move further. For example, I will first of all, for the push method, or we can say for append method, the time complexities for an array is going to be the O of 1, which says that it will take constant time. It means it doesn't depend on the length of an array or the number of inputs. So this method will take O of 1, or we can say the constant time complexity. So the next step is going to be the insert. So it will be insert. So insert has linear time complexity, which will be O. Oops, it will not be a small O. So it will have a O of n time complexity, which says linear time complexity, and the upper one is going to be the constant. Oops, constant time complexity. So the when we will insert an item at the random place, it will have a linear time complexity, and we will learn how it has a linear time complexity. Now the first we have a push or append method, then we have insert. Now let's discuss about the delete method. So when you want to delete an item from the array, you will have a O of n, which is linear time complexity. And when you want to access an item in the array, so then you will have O of, oops, it will be constant time. So let's change the linear to constant, and it will be O of 1. So first of all, I have give you the idea of what are different time complexities of these methods. For example, accessing an item in the arrays, deleting an item from the arrays, and then we can say inserting an item, appending an item. So these are the time complexities for these methods in arrays. Now what we will do is we will perform step by step all of these operations. So the first method is going to be this one. So I will copy it from here, this complete a line, and then I will paste it here. And now what I will do, so now we will perform this operation. So how to push an item at the end of an array and what is its time complexity. So let's create first of all an array of strings. So for example, I will create an array of strings which will have different alphabets such as A, B, C, D, E. So in this array, what we will do is we will push an item to it. So what does push method do in JavaScript? So if you are doing any other language such as C++, Java, maybe C sharp, your language will have different methods, but the concept remains the same, that we want to append an item, or we can say push an item at the end of this array by using some method. In JavaScript we use push method. In different language you will have different methods of doing this, but the main idea will remain the same. So what does this push method do? So it add an item at the end of an array with time complexity of O of 1. So we have strings, and now we want to use this method, which is push method, and let's push something to this array. So for example, I will push f. So it will be A, B, C, D, E, F, and F will come at the end of an array. So let's console.log string. So let's console.log it. Now open the terminal. So let's clear the terminal first of all. Now what I will do is I will run the code. by using node main.js. Now you will see our strings array has f at the end of an array. So it will have a what we can say as pico, or we can say time complexity of O of 1. So why it has a time complexity of constant time complexity, or we can say O of 1 time complexity? So there is a reason behind it that all of the items doesn't impact our operation, because we are just pushing an item at the end of an array. We are not concerned about if there are 5 items in the array, if there are 500 items in the array, or we can say if there are 50,000 items in the array. This is not our concern. It doesn't impact our timing complexity or big connotation, because we are just concerned about the last item, or we can say we are just concerned about pushing an item at the end of an array. So all of these items will be irrelevant, and this doesn't have an impact on this. So when we will perform insert operation or delete, then you will say then you will see in that methods that these will have relevancy with that, because they will move towards the, we can say, previous indexes. When we will remove an item, or if we will add an item, these items will move to the next indexes, and then these will have relevancy with that methods. But with the push methods, all of these items will have a don't have any relevancy with that. So in this case we have a time complexity of 1, which means it has a we can say constant time complexity. I will write it here. Constant time complexity. So it means that if the number of n increases, the time taken to perform this action will remain the same. So this is the way we can push an item at the end of an array. So when we perform the last operation, which is going to be the building an array from scratch, in that part what we will do is we will build all of these methods from scratch. We will not use the built-in methods. We will build all of these methods such as push from the scratch, from the ground up. So you will learn how can we make an array from scratch, and all of these methods that we can perform or we can build from our own. So the next step, so let's move towards the next step. So I will copy this question from here. So it says how to remove uh, so there will be no here. So how to remove last item from array, and what is its time complexity? Now let's move towards the next question, which is how can we remove the last item from the array, and what will be its time complexity? So for this purpose, we have a pop method in JavaScript. In different language, you will have different methods or different ways to perform the same action. So in JavaScript, what we will do is, if we want to remove the last item from the array, we use the pop method. So what does pop method do? This method removes the last item from the array with the time complexity of O of 1. So let's hide the terminal first of all. Now you will see this is our array, and we have pushed f into this array, and we have console.log it. Now if we want to remove the last item, so the last item here is f in this array, we have checked in the terminal. Now if we want to remove a last item from the array, what we will do is we will just use the pop method. So we don't have to pass anything here. If we perform this operation strings.pop, what it will do is it will remove the last item. So the last item here is f in this array, or we can say in this strings array. Now if we console.log this array here, not items, strings, so what it will do is it will tell us if it has removed the last item or not. So let's run the code again. Now you will see here clearly what is happening. So here is the so here is we are seeing the code and the terminal. So as you will see, at this point we have an array from A to A. Then when we have performed this operation strings.push, what it will do, it has added f at the end of an array. So at this position we are receiving an array from this part, which is console.log strings, after performing the push method. So when we have performed this math operation, which is strings.pop, it has moved the f from the array, and we have when we have console.log this array, we are receiving the original array, because the one thing or the one item that we have added in the array, we have removed it in this part by using the strings.pop method. So the time complexity for this operation is going to be the constant time complexity, which will be O of 1, because it is not concerned about the different or we can say the different items or all of the items which are present in the array, because it is just removing the last item from the array, and the remaining items are not concerned with it, or we are not concerned about the number of items in the array. For example, if there are 100,000 or 1 million items, what our purpose is to just remove the last item. So we are not changing the indexes, or we are not performing any operations on all of the different items which are apart from the last items. So for that purpose, we have the time complexity for this operation is going to be the O of 1. We have learned about the time complexity in the previous lecture. So if I will open YouTube channel, so here you can see in this tutorial I have clearly explained from uh, about the big O notation, how can we calculate the big O notation, how you can in your mind without calculating, how can come up with the big O notation of a function, or we can say of your code. So I will highly recommend you to watch this video if you want to learn about the big O notation, and if you want to master the data structures and algorithms. So this is the second step that we have performed. Now let's move towards the next step. So the next step is how to add an item at the start of an array and what is its time complexity. So let's copy it from here, paste it here. So this question is going to be in the previous steps we have learned how can we add or move an item at the end of an array, and now we will learn how can we add an item at the start of an array. So our array is strings here. So let's see how can we add an item at the start of an array. So for this purpose we will use the unshift method in JavaScript. We will also build this method from the scratch when we will perform the last operation, which is going to be how let's build an array from scratch with all functionalities. So we will use unshift method to add an item at the start of an array. So what does this unshift method do? So basically this method will insert the elements at the start of an array. So let's add some item at the start of an array. So let's see strings dot unshift. So let's add z at the start of an array. Now log these strings. So let's use console dot log strings and remove this from here. Now run the code. First of all, clear the terminal. Run the code again. Now you will see the third console log here. So as you will see, we have added z at the beginning of an array, but you will see a change here. Now when we have added z at the 0 index, all of the other items have moved towards the next indexes. So it means that these are concerned with the insertion at the start of an array, because these are changing their locations. So when we have we can say when we have greater number of items, for example 100,000 items, so these 100,000 items will have to perform some action toward, if in order to insert an item at the start of an array, so the other items will move towards the next indexes. So for example, if array, in this array a is present at 0 index, and when we have insert z at the start of an array, now z is at 0 index, a is at 1 index, b is at 2 index, c is at 3, all of the items have moved towards the next indexes. So that's why the insertion at the start of an array will have a O of n times complexity, which is, we can say, is linear time complexity. So we can think deeply what is going under the hood, or we can say with its big connotation of time complexity, maybe it is not the best data structure for writing items at the beginning of an array. Maybe you can use some other data structures, for example hash maps, maybe some, we can say, linked lists, or different data structures instead of arrays for this, we can say, for for these operations. So let's write it here. So the time complexity for this operation is going to be of n times, which is linear time complexity, because if the number of n's, which are, if the number of items in the array increase, the number of operations will also increase. So that's why it will have a, we can say, linear time complexity. So this is from this step, which is how to add an item at the start of an array. Now the next step is how to add or remove item to array at selected index, and what is its time complexity. So if you want to add or remove an item at a specific index, for this purpose we use splice method in JavaScript. So first, what I will do is I will copy the question from here and paste it here. So let's save it. And now what we'll do is we will use this splice method for this. So what does this splice method do? So this method will insert an element or delete an element in the array at a specific position that we will pass it as an argument. So let's see. So what I will do is we will have a strings, which is an array, and then we will perform a splice method on it. And then what I will do is I will give the index of 2. So we want to select this index, and now the next thing that we want to do is, so what we want to remove at this index. So I don't want to remove anything, so I will provide the 0. So if you provide 0 as an argument here, it means that we don't want to remove anything at index 0. The number of items that we want to remove at index 0 is 0, at index 2 is 0. Now the third argument is what we can want to add at this index. So we want to add high. So the high will be added at the index of 2. So if 0 1 2, it will be added here. Now the our array is this one, which is z a b. So z will be at 0 index, a will be at 1 index, and b will be at 2 index. So at 2 index it will add high. So let's console.log it. So console.log, I will strings. Let's save it, clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see here. So at this position, which we can say 0 1 2, so at index 2 we have added the high. So in this way you can add an item at the specific position. So this method or this operation will have what we can say, the time complexity is going to be the linear time complexity. So it will be a linear time complexity with of n operations. So why does it will have of n time linear time complexity. This is because when we will insert an item at this position, all of other items, the items that will become at the end, or we can say after high, they have to change their positions or indexes. For example, when there is no high, b is at index 2. Now b has moved towards the index 3. C has moved towards the index 4, and similar like that. So in this way we can add an item. So if you want to remove an item from the array, what you can do is you can pause here the numbers. For example, if I will give 1, you will see here what will happen. So at this point at index 2 we have a b. So what this one do is it has moved the one item at 2 index. So the one item at the 2 index is going to be b. So at this position what it has done is it has moved the item from index 2, and at this position it has insert the item high. So in this way we can add an item or move an item at a specific position in the array by using the splice method in JavaScript. In your language you will have different methods, but the time complexity, or we can say the overall concept, is going to be the same one. So this is from these operations. Now the next method is going to be the type of arrays. So there are two types of arrays, which are static and dynamic arrays. So let's copy it. So what are static and dynamic arrays? So the static arrays are fixed in size. It means that they have a fixed size. For example, if there are 10 items, or we can say we have fixed an size of an array, there will be the limited number of items in the array. So for example, if you have used other languages such as C++, in C++ it will be something like that. We can say int items, then we can use the size of an array. For example, if there are 10 items, then what we'll do is we will have 1 2 3 something like this in C++, where you have we can say set the array as a static array. So next time if you want to insert something into it, what you have to do is you have to copy it and you have to create a new array with, we can say, the more numbers of items, and then you will append an item to it, or you can say you can add an item to it. And in language such as JavaScript, what you can do is you will have a dynamic arrays. So dynamic arrays are, they have dynamic in size, or we can say they are dynamic in size. For example, let's say this string. So as you will see, this is an array. So let's copy it from here. Now we'll paste it here. Now you can clearly see wood doesn't set an it as an static array, or wood doesn't set the number of items in this array at the start of an array. So we can easily add an item, remove an item from an array, or we can say it is easy to add an item to this array. So as you will see here, we have an added items at the array such as f. We have also added the item at the start of an array, which is z, and at the middle we have added high. So it means, as you will see, this is the difference, basically the main difference between the static and dynamic arrays, that in the static arrays, if you don't if your array size is 10 and you have 10 items, you cannot add an item at the 11th index, because the memory size, or we can say, is going to be for just the 10 items that you have specified at the start. And if you want to add an extra item, then you have to copy the array, create the new array with more uh, number of items, and then you can add the item to that array. But in dynamic arrays, what you can do is you can add as many items as you want. So basically in JavaScript we use dynamic arrays. Under the hood, if you want to learn more deeply about it, these will have the same concept. If you want to learn deeply, you can read more articles about this, how it behaves under the hood. So here our agenda is to just discuss the idea or the difference between the static and the dynamic arrays. So this is the main idea between the static and the dynamic arrays. So let's move towards the next step. So the next step is going to be the main one, because here we will build all of the array and all of the with all of the functionalities. So let's create a new file, array.js. Here I will paste it. Now in this file what we will do is we will build an array. So for example, here you can see, with here we have used different methods, for example splice, unshift, pop, push. But in this part what we'll do is we will create all of these functionalities from the scratch. We will not use any of the built-in methods in arrays. So for this what we'll do is we will use the class syntax in this we can say in these operations that we'll perform. We will use the class syntax to build an array from scratch. So basically data structures are completely things that we can build from scratch. We can also create our own data structures. Most data structures are built on other data structures. So arrays in JavaScript are just objects with integer based keys. So it means that about so the main concept is that about data structures is that you can build your own data structures. So the data structures such as tags, queues, or you will learn in the future lectures that they have built on the base of arrays. Now what we will do is we will use the class syntax and we will create our own array. So let's use the class syntax, and now I will give the array the name of oops my array. And then what we will do is we will have a constructor function here. So the constructor function will have some of the properties such as, so this will be this dot length. So the length of an array we will set it to 0. And then what we'll do is we will also set this dot data to an empty object. So this empty object will contain the all of the data in the array, and this length method will check the indexes of an array. For example, how many indexes are there in the array. So some like this. So we are having an error here. So let's see what is an error. So it says this expected. So for classes we don't use these parentheses, so let's just remove it. So in the next step what we'll do is we will create a different methods. So the methods, first method that we will make is going to be the get methods. For example, if you want to get an item from the array, we use, or we can say that to access an item from the array, for this purpose we will build the get method. So if you want to get an item at specific index, you will provide this index as an argument when you will call this function, and then what you will return is you will return this dot data and then the index. So in this data we want to return an item which have this index. So for example, if we provide 4, then what it will do is in this object, this dot data, it will return the item which has a 4 index. So this is the purpose of this method. Now let's move towards this part where what we'll do is we'll call this, we can say this method here. So let's create object or the instant of this class, which will be the new array, which will be new my array. So what it will do is we have created an instant of this class, and now what I want to do is I want to push an item to this array. So we have a new array. Oops, not in capital. Oops, what's happening? So it is not in capitals, it is in new array dot we can say, so first of all, if we want to get an item from the array, we must have an items which are already present in the array. So for this we will create a method, push method, and then with the help of push methods we will push an items to the array, and then we will get it with the help of the get method. So first of all, let's create an push method. So this push method will receive an item from the function, or we can say as an argument. So when we will call this method here, we will pass an item which we want to push in the array. So this push method will receive an parameter, the item that we want to push into our array, and then what we will do is we will use this dot data, and in the array at the length, which is the current length, which is going to be this dot length, which will be now this dot length is 0. So at this dot length, which is 0, at position 0, it we will add this item. So let's add this item at this index. Now what we will do is we will increment this length. So if you want, if we perform it next time, what it will do is now this dot length is going to be 1 after performing this operation. For example, if we have added 1 at index 0, after performing this operation this dot length will be moved to 1. Now when we perform the next operation, the next item will be added at index 1. Similarly, the next time it will be added at index 2 and 3 and 4 and go on, similarly like this. Now with the push method we will receive the item in the parameters that will pass when we will call this method here, and we will push or we can say add an item at this index, and then we will increment this dot length. Now what we will return from this function is going to be this dot length. So we want to return this dot length from this method. So let's create let's call this function, or we can say method. So we have a new array, and in this new array we want to push an item. So the item that we want to push is going to be, so let's say we want to push items such as hey. Now what I will do is I will open the terminal, clear it. Now so let's console.log and now run this code, which is node array.js. Now you will see what we can say is this length has moved to 1. Now at this position I will also console.log that. So I will use template literal, so we can say item has been, or we can say item added at index, and then we will use this dollar sign and curly braces as this dot length. Now run the code again. Now you will see item added at index 0. So item that we have passed here has been added at what we can say at index 0, and then it has incremented this index to 1, and we are returning this index from here, which is 1, and that's why it is logging 1 when we are console.log this thing. And we can say new array.push method. So let's add some more items, such as let's add hi, and let's add something. So clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see item added at index. So instead of using this item, what we can do is, oops, what is happening, we will use dollar sign and curly braces, and the item that we are receiving as an parameter we will log it. So clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see hey added at index 0, hi added at index 1, and yo added at index 2. Now you can clearly see how we have created this push method from scratch, and now it's working properly, and we are seeing in the terminal that how we have added items at different indexes in the array with the method that we have built from by our own, not the built-in JavaScript method which is the push method. We have built our own push method. So in this way you can add an items at the end of an array. Now let's perform a function, or we can say this, let's use this get method. So what I will do is I will use console.log new array dot get. So let's see, we want to get an item at 0 index. So at 0 index we have hey. Let's save it, clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see at index 3 we have got this method which is hey. So if you want to get an item at index 1, so for this what I will do, first of save the file, clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see at index 0 we have got hey, at index 1 we have got hi. So both of our methods, which are first of all the push method is working properly, and then the get method is working properly. So clear, so hide the terminal. So as you will see both of our methods are working properly. Now let's move towards the next part. So the next functionality that I want to add is going to be the removing an item at the end of an array. So in the previous steps we have used the pop methods, which is this one, to remove an item at the end of an array. Now we will build our own pop method. So this pop method will not receive any of the parameters, because we know what we have to perform, which is we just want to remove the last item from the array. So first of all let's access the last item. So the last item is going to be this, oops, not a minus, it will be equal. So it will be this dot data, and in this file this dot length minus 1, which means we can access the last item, and we have stored this last item in this variable which has the name of last item. So now what I want to do is I want to remove this. So let's use the delete method and let's remove the last item. So by using the delete method we can remove the last item. So let's use this dot data and this dot length minus 1 to remove the last index, or we can say the last item in our array. Now when we will remove the item from the array, we want this dot length to decrement, because if our array has a size of 5, when we will remove the last item the size of an array will be decreased to 4. And when we will remove the other item, what it will do is it will remove, or we can say it will decrease the index by 1. So when we will remove when we will use the pop method to remove the last index, we will decrement this length. So what we will return from this function is going to be the last item that we have removed. So let's test this method here. So let's comment this get method, clear the terminal. Now what I want to do is I want or what I can say, I want to remove the last item. So the last item here is this Joe, and now what I will do is I will use console.log new array.pop. Just call this function, clear the terminal, or our terminal is already cleared. And now when I will run this code, you will see we will get the last item that has been removed. So it will be this method, this item which will be you. Now you will see we have got the last item that has been removed. So you can also console.log here that this item has been removed at this index. Similarly, that we have used here the console.log, but we are clearly seeing that this item has been removed from here. Now, if you want to console.log it, you can clearly console.log here. Oops. So console.log that last item removed. Last item removed. Let's clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see last item removed. So our we can say the pop method is also working properly. Now you can see we have built three methods. Now the next step is going to be the build the last item, which is going to be not the last item, the last method, which is going to be the delete method. So what this method will do it will delete an item at a particular position or the selected position in our array. So let's create, so first of all let's remove or hide the terminal. Now let's create the method which is going to be the delete method. So this method will remove an index. So at this index that we will receive from parameter, we will want to remove an item from it. So let's create a variable item, and in this method we will store the value of this index. So this dot data and at this index. Now what I will do is I will want to create a new method which is this dot shift items, and then we will pass index as a parameter, and what we want to return from this function is going to be the item that has been deleted. So let's create this shift items function here. So it will be shift items. Now what we'll do is we will create a for loop here. So the for loop will be I will is equal to index, the index that we will received from this parameter, and then I will be less than this dot length minus 1. So now increment this I. Now what this function will do is, so for example I have given the index of 5, so let's see the 5 is removed in our array. Now the fifth index position is empty because there are no items here. So when we will remove an item at this index, what I will do is I will shift other items. So for example the items that are at after it will move one step backward, similarly like this. So particularly this is the functionality that we will add with the help of this method, which the name suggests that it will shift the items. Now what I will do is I will use this dot data. So at index this dot data, what we will do is we will move them into this dot data I plus 1. So let's save it, and then what I will do is we have, for example we have provided the index of 5 here. So from 5 onward to less than last item, it will run this for loop. So the last item will be present here. So we want to remove the last item also. So for this what I will do is I will use this dot data and this dot length minus 1. We want to delete it, and then what I will do is I will decrement this dot length minus. So basically what it will do is this dot data I, which means that every index is going to be I plus 1, and then we will delete the last item because we are running a for loop. For example, let's say we have 10 items in our array and our index is 5. The item we have removed from our array is 5, so from 5 to less than the last item, so it will run 5 to 9 for example, and the last item will be there. So 5 to 9, what it will do, let's say 5 item, a fifth item is removed. Now every items in the array, so the sixth item will move towards at the index of 5, the seventh item will move at the index of 6, so they will move one step backward. So what this is the functionality this line is adding to our code. Now the last item is already present because we are running a loop from 5 to 9, so the 10th item will be there because the 10th item will be moved at the ninth position, but 10th item, or we can say the last item, will be at two positions, will be at, one will be at the last position and the other one will be at the second last position, because all of the items have moved one step backward. So to remove the last item we have used this delete this dot data and at this position, and then we have decrement the count because we have removed one item from our array. Now we can use this delete method to delete every element at a selected index in our code. So let's go here, let's comment it out, which is the pop method. Now let's test the what we can say the console.log new array dot delete method, and let's remove an item at index 0. So clear the terminal. So what this method will return is, so delete is returning the item at the index which we have provided. So also console.log here. So what this will do is it will say, let's use the template. So first of all let's just return something from our code. So let's run the code. Now you will see here, now when we, oops, what is happening here, so run it again. Now you will see here we are returning, and here now you will see we have paused, or we can see the pause index 0 as an argument here, and we are returning from the delete function the item that is an index 0, and this item has been deleted from the array. Now let's also at this position, what I will do is I will use template literals and then dollar sign, and so the item has been removed. Now what it will do is when we will, or what we can say, when we will run this method here, what it will do is it will run this console.log that the item has been removed. So we can also provide the index. For example, this item has been removed at this index, or we can say at the index that it will have. So run the code again. Now you will see hay has been removed at 0, or we can say here at, oops, at index 0. So oops, clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see hay has been removed at index 0. Now you will see with the help of this delete method we are moving an item at specific locations, or we can say at specific positions. So let's see, let's copy this line, paste it here. Now let's see, we want to remove an item from 1 at position, also at position 2. Now clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see hey has been removed at index 0, hi has been removed at index 1, and what we can say at index 2. So I think there is no item at index 2, so let's remove it from here. That's why it's returning like this. So clear the terminal, run the code again. Now you will see it's working properly, this delete method. It is removing an item at specific positions. Now you will see how we have built our array data structure from scratch. We will build stacks, queues, linked list, all of these data, or you can see the data structures from scratch in the next lectures. Now you can see how these are built from scratch. Now next time when you will use these operations, or we can say the adding operations, the push, the get methods, pop methods, and different methods in the arrays, you will have a clearly understanding that how these methods are worked, or we can say have worked under the hood. Now these type of questions will not be asked in the interviews, that you have to build an array from scratch. They will ask the different questions. We will perform all of the interview questions in the last section of this course. Now we are covering the data structures. In the second phase of this course, we will cover all of the algorithms. So we will cover full, we can say, the series of data structures and algorithms. We will complete it by explaining everything, and then we will also cover the interview questions, and then we will make it as a complete placement series for interviews. So this is my idea behind this master data structures and algorithm series. So you will learn by doing, not by explaining, or we can say that by moving the slides or reading from the slides. You can build, or we can say you can learn it by doing. So I will explain it, this array method, or we can say this method once again, or this class that we have created, the data structures arrays. So first of all, we have created an array, my array class, and then we have a constructor function which will be called when we create any instance of this class. So this dot length will be set to 0, because the length will be start at index 0, so we'll set it at index 0. Then the data will be an empty object right now. In the next step, we have created our first method. So the first method is going to be the get method. This, what this method will do, it will get an item at a specific index that we will pass as an argument when we will call this method. So let's see here that at this position I have called this method. So we have passed the 0 index. So what this method will do, at index 0, the item that will be present at index 0, it will return this item from this function, or we can say from this method. So the methods are a function. I am using two words interchangeably. So methods are basically these functions which are used in these classes, so we call them as methods. So these are methods. Now in the next step, what we have done is we have created a new method, which is the push methods. So this push method will add an item at the end of an array. So what this method will do, when we will call this method here, for example I've called it here, we will pass some item as an argument, and we will receive this item as a parameter here. Now what I will do is I will get the, or we can say we have a length which is set to 0. At this length in our this dot data, we will set this item. So it means we will add this item at the end of an array, and then we will increment the length. So for example, if the item will be added at index 0, because the length is at the 0, after adding an item at this index we will increment the length, so the length is going to be the 1. So the next time when we will add some item, it will be added at index 1, and then in the next time it will be added at index 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. And from this function we will return the length. You can return anything that you want. So I have also console.log here that the item has been added at this index. So the item that will pass an argument, and at index will be this dot length, which will be the current length. Now after the push method we have built another method, which is the pop method. So pop method, what it will do is it will remove the last item from the array. So we have stored the last item here in this variable, which is the last item, and then we have removed this dot data, this dot length minus 1, which is the last item. Now we are console.log that the last item has been removed. Then we will decrement the count because one item has been removed, and then from this function we have what we can say that we are returning this last item. So the next method that we have built is delete. So it will delete the item at a specific index in the array. So for example, when we will call this method here, for example this delete, we will pass specific index, so from which index we want to remove an item. So we will store the item or the value of this index in this variable, which is the item. And then at this position, what I will do is uh, or we can say we will call this function or method, this dot shift items. So now this function will run when we will move at this position. We will run a for loop. So at this index we will run the for loop until the this dot length minus 1. We will increment the count or this number, and then this will shift items at backward position, one item backward. So for example, if we are moving the item from index 3, so the index 3 will be an empty one. Now the item that will be at index 4 will be moved towards the index 3. This will this functionality will be added by this line, and the last item will be deleted by this, what we can say, delete this dot data and this dot length minus 1. So this will also decrement the count because the item has been removed from our file, or we can say our array. So in this way we can build an array from scratch. So you have learned clearly how the array methods are built behind under the hood. So in this tutorial you have learned all of these things that we have mentioned in the starting, or we can say what the agenda behind this tutorial. So what we have learned, what are arrays, how can we push an item at the array of at the end of an array, and what is its time complexity. And we have also learned how can remove the last item from the array, and we have also calculated the time complexity with the help of the big O notation that we have learned in the previous lecture. Now in the next step, what we have learned is how to add an item at the start of an array, how to add or move an item to an array at the selected position. We have also learned the type of arrays, the static and dynamic arrays, the difference between them, and the main part is this one, where we have built an array from scratch with all of the functionalities. So I hope you have learned something from this video, and if you have learned something, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and you must comment to this video that what you have learned, what you are expecting from this data structures and algorithm series, and what kind of videos you want. So let's move towards the YouTube channel. So here I have created a playlist. So here I have created the playlist here. Now here what you can do is all of the tutorials that I will upload will be added here. So all of the tutorials will be added here. You can follow this playlist, and we will add more tutorials later. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. So have a nice day. This is the end of the tutorial.